I'm a herald in the Society For Creative Anachronisms, and today we're going to draw George Washington's coat of arms. When drawing a coat of arms, I like to start from the blazon. What's a blazon? It's a verbal or written description of heraldry. So, Old George's blazon is argent, 2 bars gules, in chief 3 mullets of the second. To draw the coat of arms, we need to draw a shield. For this shield, I start by determining how wide I want it to be and mark 1/3 of the width down from the top. To get the curved bottom, pull out a compass and set it to the full width of the shield, set the end of the compass on the mark, and draw the bottom. Swap sides and draw again. Trace over the pencil marks with your pen and the shield is ready to color in. The first part of the blazon is argent. Argent is herald speak for white or silver. It's already white. Part 2 of the blazon is 2 bars gules. Now, gules is herald for red. What's a bar? A bar is a lot like a fess, just a tad skinnier. A fess is a horizontal stripe going all the way across the field. It's about 1/3 of the width of the shield. A bar is usually drawn a little bit thinner, but visually about the same. A barlet is about 1/9 the width of the shield, 1/3 of the width of a bar. This is where I wish I'd double-checked my information before I started drawing. Technically, a bar is the same width as a fess, and it's only called a bar when there's more than one. I admit that I have never seen bars the same width as a fess, especially when they share the field with something else, but there you go. So, I trace where a fess would usually be. I'm going to draw the bars a little skinnier, about 2/3 of the width of a normal fess, because they're going to take up a lot of space, and we're not quite done yet. Last, in chief, 3 mullet of the second. Okay, what's a mullet? A mullet is the jangly part of a spur, the pointy bit that digs into a horse's flanks. It's a 5-pointed star! There are several kinds of designs that are used to represent stars in heraldry, but this is a common one. There are many variations on a mullet. 5 points is the standard, but sometimes we see mullets with 4 points, 6 points, and a personal favorite of mine is the mullet with 4 greater and lesser points, the compass star. We don't see a lot of compass stars in medieval heraldry, but since it is a composite of 2 4-pointed mullets, the SCA allows it. Since mullets are technically part of a spur, sometimes we see stars with a hole in the center, as if it's a replacement part. We call these pierced. So, mullets are stars, but what is a mullet of the second? And are there mullets of the third, too? Turns out, of the second is post-medieval shorthand for the second tincture. Tinctures are colors in metals. Argent is a metal, and gules is a color. What does in chief mean? In chief is a placement phrase. When we divide the field of the shield into 3 parts horizontally, the top third is the chief, and the bottom third-ish is the base. Yeah, it's more than a third, but work with me here. When something is in chief, it's in the top third of the shield. So, we draw 3 red stars in the top of the field. I have a star stencil in my art supplies, so I'm going to cheat a little. I can never get the angles right when I freehand draw a 5-pointed star. This looks familiar to me. Well, if we draw this out on a 2x1 rectangle, we see that this was adopted as the flag of the District of Columbia. That's what the DC of Washington, D.C. stands for. Then one day, a bunch of Vikings came. They sailed around the Chesapeake Bay and then up the Potomac River. Vikings being Vikings, they liked what they saw. And quite frankly, they were getting tired of the snow. So they colonized all over Maryland, Virginia, and D.C. Vikings also like pretty things, so they stole the stripes off of the D.C. flag and put it on the sail of their drakkar, the dragon ship. Vikings are the original pirates. Those Vikings took over the Chesapeake and the Potomac, settling down to a life of peaceful trade, well, except when attached. They founded the great barony of Storvik. Storvik's arms represent the great waters that they sail in, and have the drakkar with its stripy sails that they stole from Old George. Don't forget the laurel wreath at the top that shows that they are an official landed chapter of the SCA. By the way, Storvik is Norse for Great Bay. Storvik has shrunk over the years, since parts have broken off to form their own baronies and shires, which is why they no longer border the Chesapeake Bay. But keep an eye out, Vikings always find water. Storvik has a couple of badges for their people to use. The first is just a drakkar off of the arms, and the other has a red and white stripy background with its prow of the drakkar on top of it. Definitely inspired by the DC flag, if you know what I mean. Now we can draw the arms of George Washington and the flag of DC. Just watch out for Vikings. Thank you for drawing with me. Please subscribe for more heraldic fun.